Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sydney. Today I'm here with Chloe, Z, Yana, and we're going to do a natural hair Q&A. I thought it was interesting to do this because it's Black History Month and we all know that natural hair is a part of Black heritage. I put a poll on my Instagram story and I also put a poll in my Facebook groups I'm a part of. Y'all sent me questions that you wanted us to answer about your natural hair. If you're interested, keep watching. Also, my sister is an audience member, so if y'all hear her yelling stuff out, that's her. So we have about 15 questions that we're going to answer. Starting off with like the opening question is, are you all mixed with anything? If so, how does that affect your curl type and do you think it makes it easier to manage? I'll just go first and whoever wants to answer next can. I'm not mixed with anything, I'm just black. I would say my hair is denser and more thick, and I will say that kind of helps my hair when it comes to keeping styles. I'll wash my hair one day and then like I'll sleep on it and the next day it's pretty much the same. It just might be a little bit bigger, but my styles are easy to like maintain.
My mom is Hispanic and Caucasian and my dad is African American. I would say, honestly, my mom has fine hair, I have fine hair, so I don't really know because it's weird. We all have different hair types, me, her, and my sister, so I'm not really sure if my race has anything to do with my hair type.
I'm fully black as well, and I would say my hair is pretty much like a 3B, 3C. The only thing that really changed my hair texture a little bit was probably just the process of dyeing it, but other than that, it's probably just stayed the same.
I'm mixed with black and white, and I do think that my mom's hair type and mixed with my dad's hair type has made my curl pattern a little more unique because it's a lot wavier than if I was, really one or the other.
Our next question is, how do you detangle? Normally I detangle in the shower with my conditioner in. It just helps me a lot better when I have like something in there to keep from breakage. So I use my hands, I don't use a brush.
I don't detangle in the shower because I don't like hair getting all over me. So I just wash my hair and let it be tangled or whatever, and then when I get out of the shower and it's still soaking wet, I detangle with a Denman brush.
Okay, so I guess mine's a little weirder. So I'll like take a spray bottle and I'll like spray my hair wet and kind of like use some conditioner before I get fully in the shower, just with my hands to detangle it, and then just go back on the ends with like a regular detangling brush, just so I don't get it in the shower and it's just gonna brush the hair.
I detangle in the shower because I had a lot of breakage when I tried to brush my hair, or detangle it when it was dry. I also put conditioner in it because it makes all the difference. It's so much easier to get through your hair, and I use either like a wide tooth comb in my hands, and I have used a wet brush before, but I broke it. It broke.
What's the most difficult part about keeping up with natural hair? Honestly, I just feel like maintenance is like my difficult part. Like, just wash days are pretty easy, but just keeping it looking nice throughout the week is just the hardest part. You have to you might have to redo it and like just touch it up.
Yeah, pretty much the same for me because I work out 5 times a week and then I work a lot. It's always up. I can't wear my hair down to work or anything, so majority of the time my hair is up, so it's kind of just hard styling it in general because I never really have time to.
For me, the most difficult part is probably as well just that sense of routine, because like if you get off of it, your hair's gonna know. For me, pretty much just that sense of routine, having to keep up with it is just a lot, and it can add up in money as well too. Being natural is not cheap.
For me, I think it was my biggest struggle when I started to really accept wearing my natural hair all the time was what products would work for my hair. My hair's not, I can't use, fully the African hair products or what my friends back home would wear because they would do different things to my hair. So I had to figure out what works for me.
Have you ever gotten heat damage? And if so, how did you help your hair get back healthy, or did you cut it? For me, I had heat damage. I used to get relaxers too, so I had the perm damage and the heat damage. I transitioned for a while, but I ended up just cutting it off because I just could not deal with having them two textures in my hair.
That was a rough time.
I cut it, by the way. Yeah, my sister helped cut it and my mom did too.
So I did used to have heat damage. Straightened my hair all the way up in probably about 7th grade year, and I was a hairstylist, so I colored my hair. I think I started coloring my hair in 3rd grade. I think in 8th grade I bleached the ends of my hair, and so half of it was blonde and the other half was blue. I don't know why. I thought it was a really good idea at the time.
Was it like an ombre?
Yeah, like ombre. So yeah, I ended up cutting all that off, which it wasn't a lot. It was only the half of my hair. My hair goes back really, really fast, so yeah, I just cut some of it, and the rest of it, it kind of fell back into place.
Yeah, so pretty much,
Jesus.
Girl, you got quick reflexes. So, the only time I really gotten heat damage was before with pretty much just like relaxers and everything, just with that sense of like chemical damage to my hair. Before I went natural and everything, that was pretty much like the most amount of heat damage, I would say.
I actually never had heat damage. It's because I mean my hair texture was really different, so my mom just kind of made me put up with like my hair texture. I didn't get like relaxers or anything like that. I didn't know what to do with my hair when I was a kid.
This question says, why did you decide to transition? Did any of you big chop? If yes, what made you decide to, and when? If not, why not? I just was seeing a lot of like natural hair in like the media and stuff, and I just really like the idea and the look of natural hair. I just wanted to kind of be a part of that community, so that's why I started transitioning. Like I said, I did big chop eventually. It was just too much to handle. Like my hair started growing out, and then like my hair was stringy on the end, so it just kept getting tangled, and it was just causing a lot of breakage.
I never transitioned, and I never really big chopped either, besides when I cut off my ends. And that wasn't even because of the damage. I cut my ends off because I just I was going to high school. That's really embarrassing to have in high school. So
okay, so I decided to transition after one specific time of getting a relaxer, and it burned so bad. I was like, no, that's the last straw. That was it. And that was at the time where like still I was like maybe like a junior in high school, and at that time people were kind of starting to get more into the natural hair movement, and in my head I was like, all right, I need to decide to do this now before like I go to college, because I knew that like I needed to at least understand what I'm doing with my hair before I go to college, because we don't have no beauty supply store up here, babe. You on your own up here. I had to learn like before I got up here, so that's pretty much what motivated me.
I never had to transition. I did chop like 8 inches off of my hair just because I felt like it was too much to keep maintaining, and it got knotted, and I played soccer all the time, and it just did not go well together. So that was the only big chop that I've ever had.
How long have you been on your natural hair journey? Was the process ever difficult for you? I would say it's going to be a year in March, because I big chopped in March of last year. A difficult part for me, like Chloe mentioned before, like just finding products that work for your hair, because if you're using the wrong products, your hair is not going to look like you want it to. So just like the trial and error of like finding different products and things, and just learning how to style it.
my hair's been natural my whole life, but it was difficult at one point because, like I said, I did used to straighten it a lot in middle school. My mom is Caucasian, so she can kind of just put mousse in her hair and she's fine. But I think the hardest part was finding stuff that worked for my hair. I kid you not, probably when I was in like 3rd or 4th grade, I used to use that brown gel, like on my whole entire head. So I think it was just finding stuff that worked for me.
So I have been natural for about 4 years. The process is definitely difficult because I didn't really have like friends who were natural, or I was the first one in my family who really decided to go natural. So it was just like a lot of trial and error and a lot of YouTube videos and just learning your hair and how it responds.
I also have been natural my whole life, minus a couple of times I straightened my hair. I think that most difficult parts of the process were because my mom being Caucasian and my dad, not really knowing how to do hair other than his own, but he's bald now, and so he doesn't have to do anything with hair. Was just kind of we were having to go through the learning process together, and accepting that like my hair is not like my friend's hair, or like it doesn't look like someone else I know. So it was really just trying to figure out your hair, like learn about your hair.
Which hairstyles did you all try when first transitioning, if any of you transitioned? So for a minute, I was like cutting my hair and braiding it, like just doing braid out. So that's basically what I did until I big chopped.
I didn't transition, but I didn't start really wearing my hair down until, like I said, 8th grade. So honestly, I just wore my hair in a bun all the time. I still do now because I don't really like wearing my hair down.
Hairstyles while transitioning, I did a lot of braids as well. Tried wigs, not for me. I don't know how to do that. Props to people who can, but it wasn't for me. I just pretty much just had like a lot of braids, and you can do a lot of different hairstyles when it comes to braids and all different types of braids. So that was.
What are 5 uncommon tips that helped you during your transitioning or natural hair journey? This one was kind of difficult. Me and her were talking about it before the video, but I would say
I'm gonna do 5 collectively.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. For me, I would say document, I guess, your hair growth. If you big chop like me, just taking pictures of your hair through the process just to see your hair growth and everything.
We were talking and I realized that, I don't know about the other girls, but for me specifically, natural hair is also about, like, growing hair is also about what you eat and, like, exercise and your water intake. And it's like, it's not just about, like, the care you put in your hair, it's also about the care you put towards your body. I had to learn that the hard way, but it's very true.
Mine is changing your hair products. Once you use one thing for too long, your hair kind of gets used to it and it just stops working. So getting used to switching out your products like every season or so.
How did you learn to love your hair for what it is? I definitely think it took me a little bit of time just because my hair is like thicker, I guess. So, and as y'all know, like there's a beauty standard kind of for curly hair. I guess it just takes time to like love your hair for what it is because your hair is like uniquely your own. So nobody else is going to have like the exact hair type you have.
So when I first started wearing my hair curly, I had moved cities and honestly just wanted something new. I've always really loved my hair, actually. It's probably my favorite part about me. I don't really know how to answer that.
I'll say I got fortunate enough to where I was starting to date my boyfriend at the time, and he was still like hyping me up and everything. Well, we're still together, but he's been hyping me up or whatever through the journey. So he really helped me get through it because I know I felt insecure being bald for a few months, but it gets better.
I definitely think that I'm still learning to love my hair. But hey, shout out to the tracksuit, by the way. But I definitely think it comes with like allowing yourself to accept other things as beautiful, not as like what everyone expects things to be, like the beauty standards. Because I think that we'll be like, oh, there's, you know, straight hair, wavy hair, curly hair, and then thick hair. But there's so many things on the spectrum of hair, and just because your hair is different doesn't make it any less beautiful.
Have any of you been natural since birth? Which kind of procedure made you transition, relax or heat damage? I haven't been natural since birth. What made me transition was I had a lot of heat damage. I had a lot of relaxer, I guess, damage too.
I have been natural since birth.
I have not been natural since birth. Me transition was the burning of relaxers.
I have been natural since birth.
What is your hair porosity and what made you realize that it was low or high? I honestly don't really know exactly what my porosity is, but I will say on my bang area, I feel that's more low porosity. If you don't know what low porosity is, it means like we have a hard time getting moisture into your hair. So I noticed like it's sometimes hard to get like product into my bangs, so I have to like keep adding water.
I have low porosity, and I used to watch videos and stuff about it, but I don't really care to do much research on it. But the reason that I know is because when you spray your hair with water, if it beads up, then it's low porosity, and if it just absorbs right in, then it's high porosity.
I definitely have low porosity hair as well, and it just helped me realize that when it came to buying certain products to specifically for that type of hair.
I don't actually know my porosity, but if I were to guess, it would be like normal to low.
All I noticed is like my bangs, like she was saying I spray water on my bangs, like you could just see the water just kind of sitting there.
You gotta like push it in.
How do you style your hair, LOC or LCO? What are your favorite oils? I would say I think I do leave-in. I don't really use oils in my hair though. Most of the time I just use like a leave-in and a cream and like a gel. So I don't use oils because oils I feel like sometimes make my hair stiff. I just compensate for the oils and just use a gel.
Yeah, I don't use oils either. I also don't use either of those methods. Only use a cream and then like a medium weight gel.
I don't really I use leave-in conditioner, and in the beginning of my journey, just because it was like very short, I used to take like biotin and everything. It helped out a little bit, but
I also don't use oil in my hair, but just because I feel like it made the texture of my hair weird. But I do use like a leave-in, and I use creams also, and I also use a gel, but it just really depends because it depends on how my hair feels after I get out of the shower, what I'm going to do with my hair.
Are you the only one in your family to have natural hair? My older sister tried to go natural before, but that didn't work out. So I would say, yeah, I'm the only one.
No, my mom and my sister both have natural hair.
I was the first one in my family to go natural, and then I kind of like persuaded like my mom and my sister, so they're natural too.
Minus my dad, because he doesn't have hair anymore, but my brother and my mom have natural hair as well.
How was it like growing up with natural hair? Did you experience prejudice? Growing up, I didn't wear my hair natural, it was just straight. I will say, me and Courtney, my sister, whenever we would get our hair wet, and we were around people that weren't black, so we would go to the pool, our hair would get wet, people would always like feel the need to question us, like, why does your hair get poofy?
Always had something to say.
And I'm like, we had a relaxer back then, so whenever our hair would get wet, it would like kind of mat up, and people would always ask us why it was doing that because it didn't look like theirs. we never questioned them about their hair. They felt the need to ask us why our hair did that.
Growing up with natural hair, like I said, my mom's natural, so it wasn't that bad. And I also went to a predominantly black school, so I really didn't experience prejudice.
I definitely did experience a sense of it, just because, like, I didn't have anyone to really, like, help me out or really understand the fact that, like, I don't know, like, just for someone to really tell you, like, your hair is supposed to grow curly. Like, there wasn't really someone really telling you that message, like, as a kid growing up, because it was always straight, so you didn't really know what your natural hair really looked like. I mean, it was kind of difficult sometimes, just, like, having to check the weather before you go to school, having to have, like, hoodies, making sure you have, like, an umbrella or something on you.
To go with that, like, we would have to, like, book our hair appointments when we're on vacation. If we're going to the beach, make sure our hair appointment's next week.
I went to a predominantly white school my whole life, even now. And a lot of my friends, like, I know that some people, like, they didn't mean it to be, like, offensive or anything, but, you know, everyone's like, oh, can I touch your hair? Oh, your hair is so thick. When I was, like, really little, I used to be made fun of because my hair was short, so it was, like, really poofy, and, like, they'd call me, like, dandelion and, like, weird things. I hated it. It was so sad. And my mom didn't know how to deal with my hair at all. She didn't even know how to, like, braid it. So it was kind of, like, ponytail, or we have to figure out how we can wear it down. So that's the biggest.
Why do you think videos of women with type 2 or 3 hair get more views / attention than those with type 4 hair? I'm going to relate this to, like, when we were growing up. So I feel like when we were growing up, like, straight hair was like a beauty standard. You didn't really see a lot of people with natural hair in the media or in the community. It just wasn't like a thing back then. So, like, the beauty standard was to have your hair, like, straight, relaxed. Now, like, in present day, you see a lot of people with natural hair, and I just feel like even though natural hair is, like, more accepted, there's still, like, a beauty standard of natural hair, just like the looser curl.
Yeah.
Which I even had some people tell me and my sister, whatever, they'll be like, they like girls with curly hair, but they like the looser texture. So it's like, it's just like a beauty standard, I guess, which I don't understand.
I agree with that. I feel like even the natural hair is, like, accepted and then it's, like, praised. I feel like the farther you get, like, from the straight or the looser curls, the less, like, common it is to be, like, trendy.
Yeah, I do also feel that it also is a sense of, like, colorism within the community, because I feel like some girls with their hairstyle might be perceived as, oh my god, like, that's a lot more beautiful than if it's on, like, some of, like, a darker complex, and I feel like that's also, like, kind of a bigger problem as well. Just having to fix that mindset of the standard of beauty itself.
I would say that's debatable. My sister is probably lighter than I am, but she has type 4 hair. And obviously she's, you know, Hispanic and Caucasian too. Honestly, it has more to do with just genetics, not specifically race. But I'm going to sit this one out for my own opinion just because I have type 2 or 3 hair. So
I mean, my hair, I think, is type 4, like 4A, because it's more, like, coily curly. But I will say, like, in the past, I have felt like I said, it took me a while to, like, accept my hair because it's just thicker than a lot of people I know with natural hair.
Because my sister has, like, she has thicker hair like yours all the time, and, like, she'll talk about, like, how difficult it is as well, and it might take her a little longer.
You would think that the type 4 hair would have a lot more, get more attention, just because I feel like there's so many people who like that. That's one of, like, the hardest hair textures to, like, maintain and deal with and wear naturally. I feel like they would have more attention for that purpose, but I don't know, like, I feel like that's the one that's, like, the hardest to take care of and, like, maintain. My hair and, like, there's certain things about, like, my hair that's beauty standard-esque. So I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, you know, because I'm that's so privileged of me to say.
Okay, so those are all the questions you guys sent to us. Thank you guys for being in my video. Please subscribe if you haven't already and like this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video.